Hey, in this quick video, I'm going to give you all the different little strategies I use to relieve pain from practicing a lot. You know, your fingertips, your arm, your elbow, your back, all these things that happen when we have these intense periods of practicing. Because if you can relieve that, if you can avoid that, then you can practice some more. So stick with me here. I'm just going to go through them real quick. My name is Claus, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, and go download our free course on alternate picking by clicking the link in the description. So number one is to not sit like this, right? It looks cool to sit with your guitar on your right leg. And if it doesn't bring you any pain in your elbow or underarm, then, you know, just keep doing it. But if you practice a lot and you wonder why you get this feeling in your arm, then just shift to the other leg. This position has the advantage of creating a more open elbow here. Instead of playing like this, you play like that, and then all your muscles are suddenly available to you. Secondly, it also has the advantage that you're actually playing now like you would standing up. So instead of developing your skills like this, sitting down, practicing, you get to sit like this, and then if you put a strap on, this is actually the position you would be in, body, guitar, like standing up. So you're not in that position when you get on stage and you have to play in front of people and suddenly everything feels different. So this is tip number one. Just open up your elbow and practice with, and you might want to elevate your foot just a little bit, gives you an even better position. And you can reach easier. So if you do some stretching, then you have a much better hand to neck position here. Set your guitar up so it's easy to play. Have low action, have soft strings. You might even, you know, bring it to a place where you actually have some string noise above the frets because it's so low. Because just think about it. You might practice with thick strings and high action because that's what you want to develop strength in your hand. But if you're practicing legato, alternate picking, whatever you're practicing, if you got these thick strings and they're very stiff, you know, I recommend nickel wound strings. Wound. So there's as soft as possible. You might even tune down one half step. So instead of having the low E string, you have the low E flat string, and then you tune every string down so it gets even softer. Because all the motorical little actions you can make, whether it hammer-on to pull-offs, it's sweep picking, whatever it is, the less strain you have on your fingertips because the strings are simply not as hard to press down, the more you can practice. And you might then go to another guitar once you got the skills and then practice the last round on a normal guitar that's set up the way you want it to be set up. If you have back problems of any kind, try standing up when you practice, not with a strap, but with the stand that I use when I'm standing up and making these videos, because it enables you to go back and forth between whatever you're doing and the guitar. It's just there. You don't have to strap it on. You don't have to detangle from the cable and everything. You can just walk right up to your guitar and start practicing. And you can stand with a straight back instead of slouching like this. That's another thing. Slouching like this, trying to look at the fretboard as you practice, has the effect of making your head 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 times heavier. Because if you balance your head on top of your body on a straight spine, then it doesn't weigh much to the body. As you do this, then suddenly the small muscles in your neck has to really carry the whole load of your heavy head, right? And it can't do that for very long without developing all kinds of in your neck. So standing up and not slouching over the guitar, you can also not slouch when you sit like this, and really try to develop that view instead of this. Then you really avoid some neck pain and some back pain. If nothing works and you do the right thing, you have an easy setup guitar, you're standing in the right way, and you still get pain everywhere, then focus on relaxing. Because I see a lot of people, when they practice, they use force because the brain wants to do one thing. They want to place the fingers in whatever positions, and you're trying to make it do something else. So it's a constant working against your own brain, and you do that by just forcing it. And so it becomes like a strenuous activity. And if you have one of these, then you can't practice for very long. So you really have to get rid of that. And the way to do that is to take every focus on learning something else. Completely just forget about it. And the only thing you focus on when you practice is relaxing. So let's say you really try to learn alternate picking, right? And you have this kind of feeling in the body. So what you do is you say, And then you just move the fingers, and you might want to slow down a lot when you pick, just to a level where you can really be relaxed and still do the whole thing right. Right? If that's what you're practicing. And so you really try to get out of the habit of straining and stressing when you practice. And you need to put 100% of your focus on that until it becomes automatic. Once it's automatic, you can practice 10 times longer than if you're really stressing it. Another thing that you can do that really helps your practicing is to work out. Get strong, work out your muscles. So the only activity you do is not to drink coffee and sit and practice. If that is your situation, then eventually you will start to get, a sore back, because you're not working out. So you're weak, basically. So really strengthening your body is a really good way to make sure that you can practice for hours. If you got sore fingertips from doing hammer-ons and pull-offs or just playing guitar, think about easing the pressure, because you can actually, with sore fingertips, you can practice without almost not touching the strings, just ever so lightly. But when you do that, let's say you have a sweep picking, you just play with as low volume as you possibly can when it comes to the things. So you're almost not using any power here for a period of time, and then your fingertips can recuperate and get well again without you putting strains on it. But I know that you're not going to play like that when you perform, but you can still have the movements going on. You can still program your brain to hit the right frets and have the right movements without actually putting much pressure on your fingertips. You might also think about doing that from the beginning when you practice, so you don't get to the point where you have sore fingertips. Also, if you're doing hammer-ons and pull-offs, you can still do it. You can still have the actual movement of pulling off, but you're just playing so silently that you don't put much strain to your fingertips. You still get the programming of the brain, and you can always turn up the heat. Do it harder in the future. But when you're practicing, there's absolutely no need to play with that much volume. It will only impair your ability to practice for very long because you get sore fingertips. If everything fails and you really get injured and you can't seem to practice for even 2 minutes without getting a pain in your elbow, then there's no other way than to don't use it. It needs rest. It's an inflammation you have in your body. And you might want to use a shoulder sling so you remember during the day to not use that arm or that hand completely. That is the only way out of it. And of course, you want to see your doctor if you can't practice at all, and if none of the advice I gave you in this video actually works. But that is what I have done throughout the years to remain in a position where I can practice, and practice a lot.